A very good evening to you. Thank you for being with us tonight on KUTV's News at 9. We'll begin with the highlights. MPs exchange jabs as debates commence on Finance Bill 2024. Kenyans congratulate Gen Zs for peaceful demonstrations yesterday as others condemn harsh treatment by the police. Ruto holds talks with ANC leaders as he calls on political parties to cease being mere election vehicles but symbols of unity. Petroleum products traders call on government to lower prices of fuel by over 20 shillings as they say this will offer relief to Kenyans.
This is KUTV Primetime News with Yvonne Kemuma.
John Opio is our sign language interpreter tonight. You can stream this bulletin live on YouTube at KUTV News Kenya and engage with us at KUTV_Kenya on X. Heated exchanges ensued in the National Assembly as debate on the controversial finance bill entered day one, with legislators from either political divides trading jabs on the contagious clauses of the bill. This is despite the Finance Committee making U-turns on the controversial tax proposals. The debate will run into tomorrow and the first vote will be taken later on in the day.
Nipigeni kelele! Nipigeni kelele! Mimi sijali!
In its first debate in Parliament, the finance bill was met with vigorous exchanges, MPs trading jabs on contentious clauses of the bill.
Nitawaambieni ukweli, Wakenya wanahangaika. Mmekuja hapa, mmelipwa pesa, mmepewa pesa nyingi kuja kuwa Wakenya katika bunge hili.
As anticipated, the two major political formations of the House were high on steroids, in several occasions calling for the intervention of the Speaker.
Order. Order. Order, honorable members, order.
MPs allied to the Azimio coalition opposed the bill in its entirety, following instructions given by the coalition leadership in Tuesday's parliamentary group meeting.
What is so unique with this government that for 2 years in a row, the matter of finance bill is causing hullabaloo, is causing commotion, is causing pandemonium, until young children are coming out the streets.
If this bill has decided to tax everything under the sun, from bread to tires of mukokoteni, of piki-piki, boda-bodas, wheelbarrows, even wheelchairs of disabled people. Mr. Speaker, I was asking myself, in the next financial year that is just 8 months to come, what will they tax now? Because you have taxed basically everything.
The heavy opposition from Azimio MPs came despite the turnaround made by the Finance Committee on controversial tax proposals.
Our friends here, on one hand, they are saying they want to discuss the finance bill, the proposals as they are. On the other hand, they are saying they want to discuss the report. I think they should also declare whether they want to discuss the finance bill with the report as it is.
Order.
Kenya Kwanza, on its part, following a similar whip-up by the coalition leadership, defended the bill dearly, at the same time condemning yesterday's protests that shocked the country.
Many of these members have been intimidated around the country, being told, utatupata 2027, or you get us in 2027. I want to give you the highest assurance. What the people of Kenya will judge you against is whether or not you are able to deliver on the promises and the pledges you made to them on delivery of services. It shall not be possible to deliver services, to build roads, to build schools without generating revenue for the country, Honorable Speaker.
And I asked her, you told me that it was about taxation on motor vehicle and bread. Why are you in the street? Honorable Speaker, I have just shared the video with CPA Bandi. The girl told me that she was not in the street concerning the bill, that she was doing TikTok, Honorable Speaker. And she was swinging, Honorable Speaker, very nicely.
The complexity of the newly amended finance bill didn't spare the MPs, who in notable instances differed on what's and what's not in the bill.
Wanatoa 16% kwa cancer patients. Sisi tunataka kupigana na saratani. Kina mama wanaugua saratani. Watu wa maskini ambao hawajiwezi, huu ugonjwa umewafikia. Ikiwa sisi tunaongeza mpaka kwa magonjwa, tunaongeza tax, tuna tax ugonjwa wa Kenya. Wabunge wenzangu, tunaelekeza wapi taifa hili?
Nimesikia rafiki yangu mheshimiwa mbunge wa Mombasa akisema kwamba kuna kodi ambayo imewekwa kwa wagonjwa wa saratani. Na ningetaka kwamba anieleze ni kipengele kipi katika huu mswada.
Mr. Speaker, the honorable member has been on a tirade, misinforming this house and by extension misinforming the nation on gossip that has been peddled on social media and headlines. This gossip is what she has created to the house, Mr. Speaker.
The debates will enter the second day tomorrow, and first round of voting to take place later in the day.
Mheshimiwa Spika,
Muneneweru,
wa Kenya
KU
wamechoka.
TV.
Wakenya
Muneneweru for that story. Will continue. Organizers of Tuesday's protests against the 2024 finance bill are now calling on the government to release all demonstrators who were arrested unconditionally, citing violation of constitutional rights by plainclothes police in the CBD. Brian Ouma reports.
Various Kenyans, including journalists and observers, who attempted to assemble outside the National Center, National Archives, Kencom and G1G grounds on Tuesday, protesting against the finance bill, were swiftly arrested following an order that no group had been granted permission to protest in the capital, in sight of the right to peaceful protest being guaranteed in the Kenyan Constitution. Following the demand for the release of those arrested by the Law Society of Kenya on Tuesday, lobby groups demanding for the unconditional release of those arrested mean
There are 283 that were arrested, but unless we confirm with numbers from Kamkunji as well as here is when we can see how many have been released. Kilimani, there were about 9 and they were all released. So we are happy with what happened at Kilimani. The OCS was quite supportive, and so we hope that most members can be released by tonight.
As this unfolds, the Cabinet Secretary for Tourism and Wildlife, Dr. Alfred Mutua, has expressed disappointment with those opposed to the contentious Finance Bill 2024-2025, emphasizing that the bill has undergone the due legislative processes and that there was no need for running battles, cautioning against demonstrations driven by mere activism and propaganda.
I saw when it was published, people were screaming and shouting and screaming, we don't want it. And I'm thinking, but it's been given to you so that you can express your opinion. Because we're in a democratic system whereby we listen to the voices of the people. This is a different Kenya. You know, without looking at, we have a democratic process. That's exactly what it was meant to be, for you to talk about it.
Mutua stressed the need for Kenyans to accept the reality of the country's economic challenges, which necessitate difficult but essential decisions, including taxation. Brian Ouma, KUTV.
Moving on, President William Ruto has reiterated the importance of strong political parties in the foundation of national unity and strong democratic governance. Speaking in State House, Nairobi today while meeting with Amani National Congress leaders, Ruto called on political parties to cease being mere election vehicles and become the rallying point for national cohesion and transformation. Ivy Masharia has more.
President Ruto held talks today with elected and nominated members of parliament, members of county assemblies, grassroots leadership, and leadership of the Amani National Congress ANC party with an aim to strengthen the UDA party through merging of the two parties and to speed up the merging process. ANC and UDA decided to create a joint implementation committee made up of both political and legal experts to expedite the process. Ruto championed for political parties built on the idea of a solid plan rather than the basis of tribalism and other identity politics, revealing that UDA and ANC shared a lot in common, thus making their integration easy.
I will make sure that as a democratic country, all institutions work for the people of Kenya. It is the way we are going to take Kenya into the future. And there is no conflict. Every arm of government is doing their assignment, is carrying out their mandate. And I will make sure that as president, I respect institutions.
Lamu County Governor Issa Timami stated that the merging of both parties was within party laws and that the participation in politics through mergence of parties seeks victory and formation of government.
Nani aliweka sahihi ya gazeti ya mimi kuwa prime cabinet? Signature ni ya nani? Sasa mimi nataka niwaulize, kweli mnaona inaweza kuwa haki mimi niko prime cabinet secretary alafu tena mimi nasimamisha candidate kupingana na yule ameweka kidole ya mimi kuwa prime?
ANC party leader and Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi emphasized on the need for different tactics for different times, especially in politics.
You are an important part of the KK family. You are not even a part. You are really KK family. And so the decision you're making today and the journey we are starting today is a journey that takes courage. Msiuziwe uoga tena.
Leaders present at the meeting did not shy off from touching on yesterday's finance bill protests, saying that protesting is within the right of Kenyans. Ivy Masharia, KUTV.
Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has today attended the presidential inauguration ceremony of South African President Cyril Ramaphosa as President Ruto's representative at the event. James Baraka was on that beat.
Despite Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua's complaints on travel difficulties a few weeks ago, the second in command yesterday left the country for South Africa to attend the inauguration ceremony of President Cyril Ramaphosa, who was elected following a coalition deal between the governing African National Congress and opposition parties in the hotly contested March 29th elections. This comes just after President William Ruto hinted at the high cost of using the airline amid his recent complaints from the controller of budget regarding extravagant spending on unnecessary travels last month. The ceremony brought together hundreds of world leaders who gathered in Pretoria, South Africa, to witness the swearing-in of President Cyril Ramaphosa, who was re-elected for a second term as President of the Republic of South Africa.
I, Matamera Cyril Ramaphosa, swear that I will be faithful to the Republic of South Africa and will obey, observe, uphold, and maintain the Constitution and all other law of the Republic.
Ramaphosa will now be expected to appoint a new cabinet in a coalition government after his party ANC lost majority of seats in the just-ended elections in May, which saw the main opposition party and a small third party join the ANC in a coalition agreement to govern the nation's economy.
We will build a government that is capable and honest. Together we will work to promote multilateralism for a fairer and more just and more equal, compassionate world, founded on solidarity and universal human rights.
President Ramaphosa is expected to prioritize the agenda of reviving South Africa's economy following decades of mismanagement. James Baraka, KUTV News.
Now we'll get back to matters finance bill, where the opposition leader Raila Odinga, among other politicians, have come out to congratulate the recent protests led by Generation Z, saying that the brave efforts against the finance bill have been greatly noticed. Raila, however, condemned the harsh, violent arrests made by police, with the protesters saying that the demonstrations will continue on Thursday in other cities.
Gen Zs have now become the talk of town after actively participating in yesterday's protests, largely showcasing their prowess on social media platforms, capturing the attention of prominent political figures in the country like Raila Odinga, who responded to a video made by one of the young protesters, asking him to take it easy as they represent him accordingly.
Agombo, this is a message to you. Usitoke, don't come. Agombo, please stay at home. We saw your efforts, okay? We saw everything that you did for Kenya. Now let us. We miss you, but Agombo, please don't even come outside. Don't come outside. Tunatoka on your behalf, okay?
Raila replied by saying, and I quote, "I am a very proud father today. Hongera sana to the young lady and all those who stood up for their rights." During the parliamentary sitting today, political leaders also commented on the bravery showed by the young Generation Z protesters, some saying it was sad seeing the Gen Zs being arrested over expressing their freedom of expressions, while others such as Kipipiri MP Wanjiku Mohia, who condemned national members of the public in joining the protests.
It beats all the logics that we can join the public in the gallery and the bloggers and Jay-Z, and instead of educating them that even if you go to the road, you can only go to the road, but then you don't need to have the roads in your constituency.
I want to congratulate the Gen Z for coming out in large numbers and expressing themselves. What was sad is seeing that they were arrested. They have freedom to assemble. They have freedom of expression. They should be allowed to express themselves.
In the same breath, Mombasa residents thronged the streets of Moi Avenue protesting against the 2024-2025 finance bill, lamenting against the high taxation on important products such as sanitary towels, with a call to their leaders to reject the bill.
Well, thank you, Emma Mwangi, for that report. We'll take our first break here on KUTV's news at 9. See you on the other side.
Kaunti maarufu kwa kuzalisha maziwa na ukuzaji wa majani chai. Pia, serikali ya kaunti inawahimiza wakulima kukumbatia mitindo mingine ya kilimo kuzidisha mapato.
Kama kuna kikundi moja inafanya biashara ya kuuza kuku, hao pia tumewafadhili kuwafunza jinsi ya kuhandle zile kuku kwa sababu wanaleta kwa wingi.
Haya yote tunakuletea katika Boresha Kilimo, toleo la kaunti ya Bomet.
Kilimo ni nguzo kubwa kwa ujenzi wa taifa. You are watching KUTV Primetime News with Yvonne Kemuma.
We are back. Continue engaging with us on X at KUTV_Kenya, Kemuma_Monari. In a bid to keep investors from relocating to other countries, Machakos Governor Wavinya Ndeti has urged the national government to introduce more incentives to retain investors in the country. This coming at a time when some investors have moved their operations to Tanzania, citing Kenya's unfavorable tax rates. Take a look.
Machakos County Governor Wavinya Ndeti has joined the list of leaders who have commended members of parliament for removing contentious provisions from the Finance Bill 2024.
To take this opportunity to really thank the members of parliament because they have looked at the financial bill and they have removed some of the things that were really affecting Mwananchi. What I want to tell them, scrutinize it more. Yeah, scrutinize it more and make sure that our people are well taken care of because, you know, we are suffering.
According to Ndeti, the government should introduce more incentives to lure investors into being permanent stakeholders rather than giving them a leeway to set up operations in other countries.
Let us look at more incentives to give our investors so that they stop going to other countries. We have had some of our investors move to Tanzania, move to Rwanda, move to other places. Why should we allow them to do that? And I'm sure I've been in a few meetings with the president asking the investors what he can do for them. So I'm telling him now, I'm kindly asking him, it is high time what the investors have told us we do for them. We do for them so that they stop going outside this country.
The Machakos County boss further revealed that Sinoma Roofing Company will provide numerous job opportunities for young people all over the country, adding that they will continue to partner with the Chinese government while encouraging them to partner with local investors.
The Kenya population, the younger generation is about 80-85%, and we know most of them are very well educated and they'll benefit from this factory. For us, it's a milestone, and I can tell you in Machakos County, every month we are opening a new industry.
Governor Ndeti emphasized the need.
Has more. Stakeholders in the petroleum sectors from Kirinyaga County are calling on the government to come up with proper measures aimed at lowering the high prices of fuel by over 20 shillings as well as the taxes in the fuel value chains. Despite the Energy and Petroleum Regulatory Authority lowering the prices on fuel, stakeholders led by Charles Njiru Mkombozi claim that Kenyans are still suffering from high fuel prices and there is need for the government to come up with mechanisms that will curb this crisis.
Serikali tafadhali angalieni mambo ya mafuta mpunguze kidogo, ndio kila kitu iende chini na ndio economy ya nchi iweze kuendelea, sababu sioni njia ingine ya kusaidia mwananchi wa kawaida. Mwananchi wa kawaida kumsaidia ni bei iwe chini ya mafuta.
Njiru says that fuel prices affect many sectors in the country, adding that high number of taxes on petroleum products have been a big impediment to these sectors.
Sekta ya mafuta imembeba kila kitu, kuanzia manufacturing, kuanzia transport na hata mambo ya kilimo. Mafuta ikipanda, kila kitu itapanda kwa all in the
public service vehicle drivers operating along Meru-Moi-Nairobi Highway says that they have been forced to hike fares so as to cater for the high fuel prices, a move that has affected many Kenyans, especially those using public service vehicles.
Na hata serikali yenyewe tungeambia, kwa vile kuna wakati mwingine tunafinyiliwa sana, hata tunashindwa kwa abiria wetu vile ambaye tutawaambia. Lakini tu tunaendelea na hata mwenye petrol station mwenye wanatuambia vumilieni tu.
Traders and the drivers now want members of parliament to deliberate on the matter of fuel prices as the finance bill enters its first day today. Victor Washira, KUTV.
2 people died while 2 others were injured after a lorry with 5 people on board plunged into Nyamindi River in Kirinyaga County. This is as a section of political lobbyists in Embu County have asked the government to curb the corruption and wastage to ensure Kenyans get full value for their taxes. Joylene Akware is in the counties tonight.
Following the tragic accident that left 2 people dead and 2 others injured in Kirinyaga County after a lorry with 5 people plunged into River Nyamindi, the police search mission have commenced to find the remaining passenger who is reported missing. Residents accused rescue team for lateness before coming to their rescue.
lori ilianguka kwa mto, na hiyo lori ilianguka masaa ya saa 3 asubuhi. Mpaka sasa hatujapata usaidizi wowote. Ulikuwa na watu 4, 3 wameokolewa tayari, lakini tunasikia kuna mmoja bado ako ndani na hajatolewa.
Elsewhere, a section of political lobbyists and locals from Mount Kenya East are asking the government to curb corruption and wastage to ensure Kenyans get full value for their taxes. The lobbyists maintain that much as the government wants to increase the taxes to finance its spending, it should also reciprocate by ensuring there is effective utilization of funds collected from Kenyans through taxation.
Our concern is one. Hii pesa ya taxes ukiokota, Mr. President, you must commit to us that none of your politicians is going to get away with it.
In matters education, leaders within the Lake Region Economic Bloc are calling on the government to ensure that children get quality and relevant education that will enable them confront emerging challenges.
Then that all rights will be taken into account. Our children's department official has spoken about the importance of inclusivity.
And Malindi has been chosen as the site for the establishment of a 5.2 billion hospitality project that will serve as a significant tourist attraction globally.
Why Malindi? It's easy to explain why Malindi should be the choice for us people who have lived outside of Kenya for so many years. It's so welcoming. It's a cosmopolitan city. It's got the faces of Kenya. It has what our children in the US and other parts.
Joylene Akware, KUTV.
And it's finally time to get sporty. We'll begin here in the country where Ulinzi Stars secured a convincing 2-0 victory over Kariobangi Sharks in the Football Kenya Federation Premier League clash at Dandora Stadium. Leshan Olemotia and Mark Bikokwa were on target for Ulinzi Stars, while John Makwata scored for Kariobangi Sharks consolation goal in the 61st minute. At the same time, Mohoroni Youth stand Nzoia Sugar with an impressive 6-0 win at Mumia Stadium, while Nairobi City Stars and Sofapaka played a 1-1. Croatia failed to bounce back from their 3-0 defeat in their opening match. They played out to a 2-2 draw against Albania in their second Euros match. The result leaves Croatia in the bottom of Group B and at the risk of failing to qualify for the last 16. In another match played yesterday, the Euros, Portugal earned a dramatic 2-0 victory over Czech Republic. It was 2-1 over Czech Republic as substitute Francio hit win to end stoppage. We will conclude with that. We will always be here with more as events continue to unfold. So thank you for being with us tonight on KUTV's News at 9. I'm Yvonne Kemuma. Our sign language interpreter has been John Opio.